Hi, welcome to Mercurius Being. I'm Amy Jensen here with your astro update for the Aquarius new moon, which will be exact on January 21st. It is a Saturday at 2:53 p.m. Central Time. And here is the chart for this lunation. And I had a wonderful idea from my astro friend Cindy, who suggested that I post the charts that I use. So if you're interested in looking up the charts as I talk about them, there will be a link below with the information, and it'll link back to my website blog page, and I'll post them there. So if you'd like to look at the charts while I talk, just pause the recording and go to the website and pull them up. All right, so this lunation brought up a few things, to be honest with you. Well, all of them do, right? For many reasons. But the song I Sing the Body Electric came into my head. First of all, the body electric, which is kind of obvious, and there's a ton of books on the body electric and the electrics of the body. And then I looked up the Walt Whitman poem, and I'm like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. It went on, and I just wasn't having it the day I was looking things up. But of course, I Sing the Body Electric is an Irene Cara song, and she recently passed in November of this past year, November 26th. And it was from the movie Fame, which was released in May of 1980. And that just kind of triggered something in me. Number one, because I loved Irene Cara. Just thought she was amazing when I saw that movie. And I'm sure maybe if I saw it now, I'm sure I think she's still amazing, but just looking that song up, I'm like, okay, you know, the 1980 version of Amy, thought that was more of a banger than the 2023 version of Amy did. And I use that word quite facetiously. It's a very nice little song. But it's interesting, the lyrics bring in Venus and Mars and that we're all stars, which is kind of interesting that it was brought up or brought through 6 months before we had the first Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in an air sign. So it was in Libra, January 1st, 1981. And that was the first one out of the 200-year Earth cycle. And then we had one more in an Earth sign in the year 2000, Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. And then in December 21st of 2020, we had, let me see here, that's better. Again, I'll pull these up I'll have them on my website. We had the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius. So back in 1981, January 1st, and I remember that date because it triggered something in my own just experience. I was but a mere high school student at the time, but it was interesting that there was some clicking of a timing that happened. And then to study astrology, start studying astrology a few years later, and then really getting into the understanding of the cycle of the Jupiter-Saturn conjunctions. It's just kind of interesting to note, I guess. Anyway, if you follow that thread. So the new moon in Aquarius is at 1 degree Aquarius, 32 minutes. We'll look at the Sabian symbol for that. The Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in 2020 was at 0 degrees Aquarius, 30 minutes. And I will be coming back to this in March, but in March we have our friend the ruler of Hades, going into the sign of Aquarius. Of course, that's 0 degrees Aquarius, 0 minutes. March 23rd, 2023. So there's a lot of 3s and 23s in that. And a whole chunk of Aries going on at that time. But we'll revisit that chart later. I'm not going to get into it now, except that I will talk about, I will read the Sabian symbol for the lunation on Saturday, which, as you know, we round up to 2 degrees Aquarius, and then I will read the Sabian symbol for 1 degrees Aquarius. Since this, thinking of this Aquarius new moon, so we really had kind of the that's a big 20-year cycle. And it's a big 200-year cycle into air signs with Jupiter, Saturn. But 2 years ago when that hit, 2020, December 21st, 2020, that was when the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction was firmly in air signs. And then, as I said, looking back to 1980, if you are as old as I am, or older, or maybe a little younger, and see what's going on, or what was going on in your life at that time, if there was a little ping of portent, it's something coming in at that time. And then again, December 21st, 2020, if that triggered anything in your mind as I said that, and then this lunation initiating us again for the year into the Aquarius energy and allowing us to maybe see what's present in ourselves and our consciousness and in our surroundings related to or around this lunation, and then the Leo full moon, in a couple weeks, will allow us to have this opportunity to work with whatever is coming up. Because when Pluto moves in, and Pluto will be in the sign of Aquarius for 20 years. So it went into Capricorn 2008, the fall of 2008. And so that's, 14 and a half years it was in Capricorn. So it'll be in Aquarius a full 20 years. So it'll give you an insight maybe of what's going to be coming up for you as we hit this new moon. And give us a little prep time before the Lord of the Underworld hits Aquarius, and gives us maybe an inkling of what fun we are going to have clearing out and working with and acknowledging this energy. And I believe the last time Pluto was in Aquarius was 1778 to 1798. So formation of new. With that, what will Pluto restructure? He has restructured a lot in Capricorn, if you look back at all the events since 2008. And then now in Aquarius, I'm thinking of consolidation of power. It's still in the root chakra. Capricorn is the feminine half of the Muladhara chakra. And the Aquarius is in the masculine side. But also, so consolidation of power in some aspects, but breaking apart of structures in the other. And a lot of revolutionary energy, which unrelatedly, but sort of talking about the Libra Venus star point back a couple videos ago, and thinking about the 1980 first little drip of the air conjunction being in Libra. So issues of fairness and justice. And then Pluto in Aquarius is really going to be a lot about breaking up structures and restructuring and more, literal power to the people, but also like individual power and how we can use and rearrange our own structures, as I've been talking about in Capricorn, but like then breaking them up, breaking up the stagnation in Aquarius, and really aligning ourselves with maybe a higher consciousness. Okay, so that said, well, that was a 9-minute intro, right? Okay, we're going to do the Sabian symbol for the lunation, which is rounding up to 2 degrees Aquarius and using Lynda Hill's Sabian Oracle book. So the symbol for this is an unexpected thunderstorm, and I'm just going to go into the oracle portion of it. You may find that you are suddenly tested, taken by surprise, or something shattering arises. This can overtake and overawe your sense of stability and can happen when you least expect it. Perhaps you saw signs of something big coming, but didn't quite know what to expect or what was going to be unleashed. Your inner strength and stability is likely to be put to the test. However, you can learn a lot from the experience, especially if you strive to stay at the center of the storm and not get swept up and away by it. In fact, the effect can be quite liberating after the initial shock. Of course, shock would be a very Aquarius thing. The best course of action to take is to not panic, but to see your true place in the scheme of things and help others cope with what's going on. You may need to let go of control in this situation, as trying to be in charge of what's happening may well be impossible. Endeavor to be a conduit for the unleashed energy in some way. Let the energy run through you and into the ground. Stay with the feeling of grounding the energy as much as possible. When the storm passes, assess what you can fix up. So, and I love that passage. It really just seems really appropriate for a lot of things, Aquarius, and really the message I was getting even a couple weeks ago before I began this video was just the grounding aspect. The ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, and it is in the sign of Taurus, which is in the heart center, and Taurus is an earth sign. As a matter of fact, I believe that was the sign of the 2020 Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. I'm quite sure of that, don't remember the degree. But something about the heart and really rooting and grounding into the heart. And I can hear someone make a joke about, do Aquarians even have hearts? And the answer is yes, we do. So the grounding into the energy of the heart, but grounding into the physical energy that is Taurus as well. As you know, electricity needs to be grounded. And when you wire a house, there's always a grounding aspect to the electricity. But also thinking back of the heart's desire, and then I'm going to flip a little bit to Leo, ruling the physical organ of the heart. And I'm kind of jumping ahead, but Uranus rules the lower legs and the calf muscles, which pumps the blood back to the heart. So there's that symbiotic relationship between the Aquarius, the polarity of Leo Aquarius, of the stagnation in the body needs to be, pumped back up into the heart. And as you know, moving your legs when you're on an airplane and getting up and walking around to keep that movement. Okay, so the degree for the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, and then it would be the same degree for the Pluto ingress into Aquarius, is 1 degree Aquarius, an old adobe mission in California. And I'm going to the oracle portion again. Sometimes it's easy to assume that one's beliefs are right and that others need to be shown the quote-unquote real truth or a better way to live their life. Efforts sometimes need to be turned toward creating the infrastructure to pursue our beliefs and way of life, and this can enrich everyone's lives. There is a need for the provision of faith, love, and shelter to those who require it. However, the effort may be too big for some and may leave them feeling homesick, homeless, or without a cause. It may be a case of someone trying to change or dominate the core beliefs of someone else, causing emotional restriction and pain. The truth to be remembered is that contributing to others' lives and caring about people in a community is not about control, but acceptance of and reverence for each person's divinity. There's no need for strict conformity, manipulation, or pretension here. And so I think that flows into the idea of Aquarius as being kind of the rabble-rouser of the zodiac, the conduit for bringing energy in and helping others. There's a lot about love given and things made with other people and cooperation and benevolence, of growing something together, starting a movement. There we go. But there's a lot about individuality and really tuning into your own divine intuition, connecting to a greater intuition and energy of the divine, but honoring everyone's perception and expression of it. So it goes away from being kind of this ego I to a confident I that like, hey, I'm me, I'm doing my thing, and I really don't care what you do. I mean, I care what you do in the fact of like, do it. I'm super excited for you to be your own conduit for your energy or your connection to intuition and imagination and innovation. But not, you know, that thing of making it a movement, not making it a movement, that can be a little sticky point in the Aquarius. The Aquarius, I say pantheon, I don't even think that works, but you know what I'm saying, the vocabulary of Aquarius. I know there's a better word. Anyway, let's continue. So those are the Sabian symbols. That Pluto energy, and I will revisit that more in another video, but it goes into Aquarius in March, like I said, 3/23/23. It exits on June 11th and retrogrades back into Capricorn, and then it comes back into Aquarius, I'm having trouble talking, 2024, January. At this lunation, we also have a nice septile to the sun and moon from Neptune. Okay, and that is kind of a serendipity aspect. It's a minor aspect, but I've got it really dialed in tight, 0 degrees, 20 minutes for that. So the Neptune energy works well with Aquarius as far as, so this Aquarius energy of being an electrical conduit, an electrical converter. I am super jumping ahead in my presentation. This is the symbol for Aquarius, the little jagged lines. Looks very electrical. It's really the pranic waters, the cosmic pranic waters. So the energy, the electricity of the cosmic waters, and it's connecting, being, you know, at your best as an Aquarius, or holding that Aquarius energy of connecting to and bringing it through and bringing it outward. And again, you're going to have your own little flair as it comes through, because it is through each individual. So Neptune is the cosmic water of non-duality, and it is why am I getting so that's like Neptune is the seawater, you know, and the salt and conductivity, an electrical aspect that ties the two together. But in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, we're bringing in a lot of the cosmic waters and feeling connected with everyone. So it's just kind of giving that additional elemental backing to this, and emotional maybe intelligence along with this. So as we work with the Aquarius energies, having an opportunity to tune into the emotional aspect, because the Aquarius energy is a lot of mental energy, and I'm ahead of myself. So the glyph for Uranus, I did it a couple different ways, is really the crescent of the mind on both sides of the cross of matter, and all of those above the circle of spirit. So there's a lot of mental energy with Aquarius, and we'll talk about clearing that, and not as much connection with the heart in emotions. And again, I don't mean that we are heartless, but it's confusing a bit, because it's a different cosmic energy, and it's a little difficult sometimes to be in a physical body as an Aquarius, and it's also a little difficult at times, this would be shadow Aquarius, to not be in your head And also emotions, you know, is a lot. So where does all of that fit in when you're just a conduit for energy? So these are some of the things about Aquarius, shadow and non-shadow. So the Neptune in Pisces can bring that intelligence in and that conductivity, but connectivity. There's a quintile to Chiron in Aries for the sun and moon, and a sextile for Jupiter in Aries at this lunation. And I know I've been talking about Aries and Mars in Aries, and Mars is in Gemini still. It's direct now. And at the lunation, we have Mars at the end of this formation in Gemini. We've got Mercury at the front of it. And when we get to the Pluto ingress, we still have Mars at the end of the pattern, but it's at 29 degrees Gemini, so it's really close to moving into Cancer, so it is squaring the Aries sun at that time. So even though we're in a fixed mode here, a fixed sign with Aquarius, there's a lot of cardinality kind of knocking at the door, especially when we get into the Pluto ingress. Back up to the Chiron and Jupiter aspects to this sun and moon at the new moon. And I know I just keep saying, you know, Chiron and Aries, your agency, what is wounded your agency, your assertiveness, your sense of I amness. And so with the quintile, it's another creative aspect to from the sun and moon in Aquarius to that woundedness for everyone in Aries. So getting a little glimpse, a little I want to say door opening, inspiration, really. So maybe some new ideas coming in about building your own agency and really feeling into that assertiveness and I amness and that fearlessness. A little bit of like you that Aquarius friend to the Aries, like, yeah, let's do it. You know, you can do this. You got this, and I'll do it with you. And hey, let's do it this way. Maybe just like another spark from a team member, which would be another Aquarius thing to the Aries thing. So maybe emboldening the Aries a bit, and then the Jupiter sextile in Aries, you know, back to the sun and moon. Again, kind of that expansiveness and of possibilities. Okay, so I just feel like there are a lot of possibilities opening up. And again, this is, you know, a lunation reading, so it's general. You'll have to look at your chart to see where everything goes, but these are the energies that are available at this time. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Aquarius and Uranus. So Aquarius is all about going past all the Capricorn structures and Saturnian structures that we've set up. And, you know, and again, as I said with Capricorn, it's about whenever you have a Saturn transit, it's really testing those structures. And then Aquarius, Uranus comes along. Uranus just breaks them apart. It's not working, boom. You've held on to that too long, boom. You know, you're lying to yourself if you think this structure still works, boom, okay? So Aquarius, Uranus, bringing in new structures, bringing in new forms. Aquarius loves freedom above all. They are the poster child for don't fence me in. So if you want to lose an Aquarius, fence them in. They will hate it and they will find a way to not be fenced in. Aquarius likes to break up, disrupt, avoid any limitations, any requirements, any expectations, unless it's their own, you know, system again. Then, hey guys, that's a great system and we should all follow it because it's my way. I'm at the point of this triangle leading the troops forward. It's awesome. Okay, so I joke, but so there is a little bit of that. That's a little shadow, Aquarius. Aquarius energy can be frustrated by those restrictions, frustrated by the human form, frustrated again by emotions or stuckness, stagnation, traditions. So there's just something about, we get to this part of the zodiac and it's like, okay, you've just got to clear out, just like a thunderstorm, right? It refreshes the air, it cleans things, it clears forests. Yes, there can be some destruction in its path, but then there's room for new life, there's room for new space, there's room for new ideas. So again, that idea of the mind and mental activity being above all in processes, being a conduit for prana and energy and electricity, that sense of releasing the individual ego and moving into a sense of allness. And I guess, I've kind of talked about most of this already, but the idea of clearing the mind of your own old habits and thoughts and fallbacks so that you can be a clear vessel. Just even in meditation this morning, some of these lingering doubts or, heavier thoughts and were coming into my awareness, and I was thinking, I don't even think those are mine. Where did I pick those up? Why did I attach belief to them? Belief and then energy and time and then physical structures. So anything like that comes up for you at this time, in meditation, it is a wonderful time to evaluate, get rid of, sweep away, clear it out electricity-wise, thunderstorm-wise, pranic waters-wise, effervescent-wise, and be prepared for allowing something new to take form. I'm sure I've mentioned this before in other videos, the idea of space-age Legos for Aquarius energy. So you're rebuilding structures, and I guess I'm going to probably talk more about this when Pluto goes into Aquarius, but the idea that, of course, they're clear, they're holographic, and they can be formed, but they can just as easily be melted and reformed with thought. Okay, very quick, very malleable, very space age. Okay, Uranus is the function. Let me see if there's anything about Aquarius medically. It symbolizes the lower legs, has to do with blood circulation, body electrics, rods and cones of the retina, oxygen exchange in cells, active transport mechanism, processes such as the sodium-potassium pump that go against the natural chemical gradient, which fits into the idea of the Aquarian going against the grain. Health problems linked to Aquarius, and I'll write the source for this in the notes below. Circulation problems, varicose veins, cold sweats from nervous system overstimulation, color blindness, peripheral and central vision disorders, sensitivity to barometric pressure changes which cause psychological changes, Asperger's, ataxia, clumsiness, impaired coordination, irregular, spasmodic, involuntary movement of limbs or facial muscles, and MS. So I forget, like the spasms would be Aquarius, Uranus. So anything, again, unusual, anything going against the grain, anything that pushes like that. And, in a good way necessarily, and then in a problematic way. So Uranus is the function to break free, to transcend, to go beyond, to think outside the box. It frees us, it unfetters us. It symbolizes the urge to go beyond structure, rules, formats of our social structures. Uranus is revolutionary, unusual, innovative, disruptive, or brilliant. It pushes us to go beyond, transcend, to find the undone thing, or to think the unthought thought. Where you find Uranus in your chart, you'll find where your greatest need for freedom is, and your greatest amount of potential innovation. And it is interesting. I've seen Uranus in people's charts, and I'm thinking of one person in particular, and they have tons of freedom in that area of their chart, but they always want more. They're like, anyway, it's interesting. So just if you know your chart, take a look at that and think of it in that way. Shadow Uranus is rebellion for rebellion's sake. And depending on the social structure, to be viewed as being out there and not truly transcending. So you're just kind of a poser. You're looking, oh, I'm so out there. I'm so avant-garde. But it's really just for appearances. You're really, if you really were an individual again, if you're really embodying the Aquarius energy, you're doing your thing and you are just shouting and testifying for other people like, amen, you got it. You're doing your own thing. We're all free. Okay. Any other notes? Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, medically, it just rules the coordination of bodily activities, rhythmic pulsations, the body electrics, the pyramidal tract of the spinal cord where the nerves cross over, and active transport mechanisms. Okay, let's see, where are we? It's a pretty good playing field for Aquarius Uranus energy. The associated tarot cards for Aquarius Uranus. Aquarius is the star. And using the Mucha tarot again. See if I can hold this up and read it at the same time. There are nights so diamond clear that it seems as if the stars are close enough to reach out and touch. Capture starlight in your hands and see your own brilliance shimmering there. Let doubt fall away, all the petty cares of the earthly path. The star tells a story of eternity that reaches far beyond any one lifetime. All is well, and all will be well. Believe in the rightness of your place in the universe. Your psyche has a unique destiny to fulfill, foretold in the stars. Searching for this destiny is your quest, the quest of each person who takes mortal form. The star that guides each of us shines a light of hope, faith, and infinite trust. This is the great truth. Whatever you truly need will always be given. Every part of your being is made of stardust, and you can never be separated from the cosmic dance of creation. Key ideas: purity, hope, destiny, the pattern of the cosmos, divine intention, and faith. That was lovely. I'll put the connection to this below as well. The energy for Uranus is the Fool. And usually the Fool is numbered 0, as it is in this deck. But I also think, and I've seen it in other decks, sometimes the Fool is at the end of the tarot, meaning that, or having the symbolism of going through the whole journey of the tarot. And then knowing all of that, still stepping back into this mortality, into physical form. So kind of this symbol of the Fool, stepping off into the unknown. She or he is always stepping off the ledge, and foolish, but not foolish, intentional. So each of us embarks upon the journey of life with a light heart and an innocent spirit. Every adventure we encounter along the path has the potential for joy. The fool is the soul who travels the human lifetime seeking knowledge, understanding, and beauty. The carnation she holds symbolizes the incarnation of her spirit in mortal flesh. She has no expectations, only the willingness to live fully in the flow of life's experiences. Her worldly possessions are simple and few, carried in the small pilgrim's bag upon her shoulder. Her companion dog guides her away from the cliff's edge, for he is the part of the consciousness that instinctively protects us from harm. Heeding your instinct's guidance and the call of your spirit toward its purpose, you are always exactly where you are meant to be. Key ideas: beginnings, openness, optimism, trust, innocence, the perfect soul. I think I am going to end on that note. Okay, wait, I won't quite end on that note. I just wanted to mention a couple things that you can do to help clear your energy. Of course, grounding this energy, walking outside, exercising, doing grounding meditations where you really feel the sit bones, the legs, the feet, contact with the floor. If you live in a warm place, walking barefoot would be great. Do not do that in Minnesota. The energy of legs up the wall pose, or even having your legs or lower legs on a footstool or on the seat of the couch and then placing yourself on the floor. Sometimes I like to place a support underneath the low back. So it's an inversion, but a supported inversion so that the energy of the body comes back from the lower legs back into the heart. And just allow yourself to be in your body, to breathe in your body. Rooting in the heart and connecting to that heart into what you want to create, what those crazy and wonderful and innovative ideas want to draw in, and what wild imaginings would you like to take form as we move into this Aquarius season. All right, take care, and I will see you back in a couple weeks. Namaste.